How can a funeral home generate more leads from their website?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be really in line with a lot of what we've been talking about already. So I love that this is where the conversation's going. The reality is that funeral home websites, I mean, more than, I think it's like 60% of traffic goes to obituaries for people to send condolences and receive service information. And so something that we have focused on is to add as many different touch points to help drive engagement on websites, particularly on memorial pages. And we do this in a number of ways, and a big part of it is like the way we've added a lot of additional storytelling features for families. They can build a timeline of a person's life that's associated with media. So like, a video highlighting a wedding story, an album showcasing the person's time in college, all different areas that different members of the community are going to be able to engage with, right? And then these touch points are essentially triggers that help drive engagement. And engagement is liking a photo, leaving a comment, sharing a link, buying flowers. Why is this engagement important? Basically, every time someone wants to engage on a page, they need to leave their name and their email. No, we definitely don't ask people or force them at all to sign up to engage on a page, because that obviously drives people away. We know that people don't want to create new accounts, but these are names and emails that are then leads that you can then bring on to a wonderful CRM system, of course, and then to continue to nurture them. And what I think is really important too for funeral homes is to always be top of mind for families. So unless you're a funeral home that's consistently serving a family or a community, let's be honest, people probably may not remember your funeral home. And especially nowadays, when the amount of services that are live streamed and people are not physically attending services, they especially do not have a connection with your funeral home. And so this is again where the engagement on memorial pages come in. The way that we've designed this and the way that we've worked on this specifically with our direct to consumers and now in our project with the VA and national cemeteries is we've modified it so that people are actually staying engaged for years on our pages. Because that's one of the things we find a lot is funeral homes are saying, well, people visit for during the first month and then they don't come back. And so we've worked on features that change that add the engagement, that add the reminders, that add the touch points. And on top of that, when you have, a good provider connected to your website, when I'm Googling my cousin John, I know he had a funeral. I don't remember the funeral home. Your funeral home website's going to come up. So basically, to drive more leads via your website, it's essentially driving more traffic to your website by having everything searchable and go directly to your website. Have families continue to go back to your website on things like memorial pages, not just during the time of passing, and then using all those leads that are generated through all this engagement for pre-need sales, essentially.
Love it. I love you say engagement. You talked a lot about relationship and engagement, which are two like big buzzwords for Disrupt. Like we talk heavily about creating engagement that's meaningful, that builds a relationship, because that leads to future business and leads. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow on the marketing panel. But I love that that's a focus, because I think that we've started to break away from understanding the value of the relationship. And 80% of funeral home business is driven by a relationship. We can do a lot of different things to keep that consumer in the funnel. But if we're not giving value while they're in the funnel, we're not going to build the relationship, and we're not going to have that engagement that you're talking about. So thank you